Perfect. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the public hearing meeting of October the 27th, 2025. We'd like to start our meetings by acknowledging the traditional territory of our friends and our neighbors and our treaty partners of the Fort Nelson First Nation, as well as the Prophet River First Nation. We recognize our treaty. We recognize the rights within that treaty. And we celebrate the contributions and enduring presence of the Métis people in our region. Please be advised that tonight's meeting is available to the public to attend virtually and is being streamed and recorded. I have adoption of the agenda, please. Moved by Councillor Girling, second by Councillor Andrews. All in favor? Are there any opposed? It carries. Thank you. I'll read the public hearing guidelines before we get started, so everybody has their instructions if they wish to speak tonight. This public hearing is being convened pursuant to Section 464 of the Local Government Act in order to consider the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality Zoning Amendment 4401 55th Street, Site-Specific Bulk Fuel, Bylaw number 238, 2025. At this public hearing, the public shall be given an opportunity to make representations to the Regional Council on the proposed bylaws. Anyone wishing to speak concerning the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality Zoning Amendment 4401 55th Street Site-Specific Bulk Fuel Bylaw number 238, 2025 is welcome to address the Regional Council. No one will be or should feel discouraged or prevented from making their views known. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand virtually or approach the delegate table and begin by stating your name and civic address. The presenter chair is at the end of the table here. As chair of this meeting, it is my responsibility to ensure orderly proceedings. It is important that you restrict your remarks to matters contained in the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality Zoning Bylaw 4401 55th Street, Site-Specific Bulk Fuel, Bylaw number 238, 2025. As chair of this meeting, it is my responsibility to ensure orderly proceedings, and I may end any presentation that does not relate to the bylaw in question, becomes abusive, or is repetitive of the views that the speaker has already made known to the Regional Council at this hearing. Members of the Regional Council may, if they wish, ask questions of you following your question or statement. However, the main function of the Regional Council members this evening is to listen to the views of the public. It is not the function of the Regional Council at this public hearing to debate the merits of the proposed bylaw at this time. After the public hearing has concluded, Regional Council may, without further notice, give whatever effect they believe proper to the representations made at this hearing. So those are the guidelines. So the notice of the public hearing was posted as per the Local Government Act, Community Charter, and it was posted appropriately. So the bylaw that we're here to look after, I've stated a number of times, zoning amendment bylaw 4401 55th Street, Site-Specific Bulk Fuel, bylaw number 238, 2025. Is there anybody wishing to address the Regional Council at this time? Is there anybody online? Is there anybody in the gallery? State your name and your address, please.
7 Pioneer Way, Fort Nelson. I'm just here to quick to oppose this amendment. We are a small community. We have bulk plants that are shut down. We have an area for bulk plants. We do not need rezoning in our community to allow a high-risk enterprise in our area. Nothing to say of insurances and cost of other operations around the neighborhood that's going to be inflated because of this reason. There is bulk plants in area designated for bulk plants. We should be using those. There's empty ones out there. Maybe the applicants should be looking at buying out there instead of creating a wheel. In the 70s, we had bulk plants in Fort Nelson. We moved them out of Fort Nelson because of numerous reasons. And I don't think we need to go full circle and bring them all back into the community where it's high risk. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neville. Are there any questions for Mr. Neville? Seeing none, is there any other person who wishes to speak? State your name and address, please.
Darwin Rattray, 7507 Highland Road. I'm pretty familiar with how EPZ zones work in gas plants and stuff like that, the large area. And as we're gonna go stick something like this in there with fires that are still burning all over the place, you do the equation, multiple liters of fuel stored near housing, shops, millions of dollars worth of trucks, all sorts of stuff like that. Can somebody promise me that my insurance rate's not gonna be affected by any of this as we move forward? You know, one insurance company might say, yeah, it's no big deal. Next year, they're gonna jack our rates up beyond where we can already afford to have insurance at this point. That's just, has there been any, will council do any research to maybe prove to us that our insurance rates won't be affected by this? When, I'm not scared of the fuel one little bit, but when you look on the map and the zoning changes to red, heavy industrial, and what's in that EPZ zone, then that's where it's gonna be affected, I believe. That's all I have to say.
Thanks for your time. Are there any questions for Darwin? Okay. Are there any other representations that would like to be made to council? There are 4 letters. Maybe I'll read the conclusions to these letters into the record. Otherwise, it would likely take us a long time. So the first, and I won't say who they're from. It's a matter of record. So if you're in the room, you have the ability to get a copy of the agenda, I believe. And if you're online, I believe that the agenda has been posted in the, a link to the agenda has been posted in the chat. So you can go to the chat and you can see it. If any of these conclusions to these letters spur your mind, you have the ability to go in and have a look at the agenda and see what the entire letter says. And in some cases, who it's from, and other cases, who it's from is not obvious. So the first letter, the conclusion is council's decision will set an important precedent for how Fort Nelson manages higher risk industrial uses amid increasing climate-driven emergencies. A careful, measured, and logistical approach favors keeping hydrocarbon storage and distribution facilities within established industrial zones where risks can be properly managed and competitive fairness preserved. We appreciate your consideration and remain available to provide additional information or to participate in any public meeting to discuss these concerns. The second letter, in light of the concerns above, I urge council to turn down the proposed request to rezone this property. Approving this change is spot zoning and it undermines the integrity of the official community plan and the fairness of the zoning process. Spot zoning creates inconsistency and it erodes public confidence in land use decisions. Spot zoning is a slippery slope that will undoubtedly open the door for further exceptions that weaken long-term planning goals. Maintaining the existing zoning designation, especially when suitable heavily industrial land is already available, best supports the safety, sustainability, and long-term vision of this community. Spot zoning is never the answer, especially in this case where the risks to public safety and community trust are this significant. Thank you for your time and your consideration. The next one, the third letter is the conclusion. I urge council to reject this zoning amendment in full. The current zoning structure already works. It protects residents, supports responsible business, and keeps higher risk operations where they belong. Approving this change would increase safety risks, create unfair advantages, and set a precedent that could invite further zoning challenges from other fuel operators. I strongly encourage council to uphold the existing light industrial zoning and prioritize the well-being of the community above individual interest. Thank you for your time and consideration. The voices of those who want to keep Fort Nelson safe, fair, and a responsibly managed place to live. The fourth letter, the conclusion, Mayor and councils, I strongly encourage you to approve the zoning application as NRM should show that we are open for business. Having read those into the record, is there any, are there any other representations to the council tonight? Absolutely. State your name and address, please, Percy.
Percy Wright, number 12 Caribou Way. I just wanted to let everybody know that we're not building a bulk plant there. We're only utilizing the infrastructure that's already in place. the zoning calls for not reload trucks. All we're asking to be able to do is reload trucks. It's not changing the storage. Everything's engineered, designed. It's all, it would have to be up to standards that meet all the fire codes, everything long before it happens. We don't have any plans of throwing in a couple million liters of fuel there and starting that way. We would only like to be able to basically sell that structure before it gets demolished and not be able to utilize and lose more infrastructure that's built in town. We're not rebuilding anything. And as far as traffic goes, I mean, you might get 1 or 2 more trucks a week driving down that road. I mean, most of the fuel trucks that are going north are already turning down that road for fuel anyway, so it's not changing the traffic pattern at all. But that's about it.
Are there any questions for Percy? Mr. Roper?
So just to clarify, the plan is not to expand the fuel capacity that's already there. It'll be the same as when it was a card lock.
That's right. We're not planning on expanding or building anything. If the zoning gets approved, then we would look at options of putting in like a Scully system, it's called, for reloading trucks, so that it's up to standard and the best that technology provides today. It's already designed with oil water separator tanks and the infrastructure. It's engineered, designed for a bulk plant. It was built as a bulk plant. The building permit was bought as a bulk plant, but the plannings got changed. And after it got, or construction already started on it, and it wasn't something that we were gonna take to the town and fight with at that time. But at this time, we're thinking, like, with industry being as slow as it is, if there is people interested in coming to town and doing business here, we should probably do what we can to help them. In reality, trucks could load there and leave and nobody would really know if they were loading or unloading anyway. Like, we're not expanding, we're not putting any more tanks in. Only at this point in time, we don't even have any plans of reloading trucks. We just want to know if the ability to do it is ever going to be there.
Counselor Going?
So thanks, Percy. So light industrial area gives the property owners the ability to store up to 165,000 liters of fuel. So if the spot zoning were to change, then that would change along with it. And I don't know, like heavy industrial, I know we're not asking for a change to heavy industrial. You're just asked, so I just am trying to get confirmation on, you're simply asking for the ability to sell, to reload trucks. And would you stay within that 165,000 liters of fuel that's currently allowed in light industrial area?
Yeah, we have no plans of expanding. Like, the tanks are already there. It's whether they get used or not by the new owner, I can't honestly sit here and tell you the truth. I don't know.
Because the tanks,
But
it's our understanding.
a truck is a 50,000 liter load, right? So, I mean, yeah, there's no plans in any time in the near future to be putting any amount of fuel in them tanks.
Right.
But I can't sit here and tell you that
It
I'm
will-
gonna sell a facility to somebody and they're only gonna do. I mean, if you wanted to set in systems or conditions, that's fine too.
Okay, because
It just, the logistics for trucking to Whitehorse at Edmonton were good if they were able to unload here and go back to Edmonton is all. So there's a couple of trucking companies that were interested in being able to do that. And as far as helping Fort Nelson with business, if anything, it would bring cheaper fuel to town and it would, it's not gonna change the amount of fuel that's driving through town. We're not adding any more business to the fuel that's traveling through town. Like, it's only utilizing it, and maybe with a little luck, some of them people that are trucking between here and Edmonton or Whitehorse and here would plan on living here versus there. So it was really.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Percy, what's the, yeah, hang on. This is for council to ask. So it's, yeah. So, how much storage is there actually on that site right now?
I believe there's 90,000 liter tanks.
The 1.8
Million.
million-ish liters.
Yeah,
Have they ever been filled?
not to my knowledge.
Have you ever sold bulk fuel out of that
No,
property?
no. When it was designed by UFA, it was engineered and approved, and the building permit that was issued for it was for a bulk plant. They started constructing the bulk plant, and then before it opened, they changed I wouldn't say the zoning, but the limits inside the zoning, so it eliminated the bulk plant being able to go. And at that point, I guess maybe the right thing to do would have been to fight with the town then to get it changed. But we didn't think it was a big deal at that time. But I mean, it supported itself for many years, but now it doesn't. So look
So
at it.
it operated as a card lock for however
100%.
many years within the
Right.
zoning
Yeah,
to a maximum of 165,000
correct, yeah.
liters.
yeah.
But the tanks were there.
Tanks have always been there.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you, Percy. There is a second opportunity for anybody who wishes to speak to council based on anything they may have heard or from the letters to take a seat and give us their thoughts. Is there anybody who would like to take us up for a second opportunity or their first opportunity? Anybody online? Nobody's hand is up? No questions in the chat? Okay, for a second time, I'll officially call for representations to council at this public hearing. Seeing none for a third time, I will call for representations to be made to council at this public hearing. Okay, having read the letters into the, or the conclusions of the letters into the agenda, and having those letters on the agenda, I would look for a motion to, what am I looking for? A motion to accept those letters for information. Moved by
I'd
Council-
make that motion.
Moved by Councilor Roper. Do I have a second? Councilor Andrew. All in favor? Are there any opposed? Okay, that passes. So seeing no more representations at the chair, I conclude and adjourn this public hearing. Thank you very much for your time. 6:18. So I guess I will say that the next step is for council to sit and take in the information that they've received. I'll caution council that council cannot take in any representations on your own. If somebody writes you a letter, that letter needs to come to the council as a whole. After a public hearing, we're not allowed to receive representations individually. They have to be put in front of all of us. Any information, any facts that you may find if you do research, any public opinion that may come to you as individual, you need to bring it to that next meeting for us to have a discussion. That will be an open public meeting. It will be advertised according to our regular, whether it's a special meeting or whether it comes on to our regular council. That hasn't been determined yet. I think staff will make a recommendation to us as to whether we do it at a special meeting or our next regularly scheduled meeting. It will be open. The next step to move this through the process after that is third reading, a recommendation to go to third reading. So at that point, I guess there's a couple of things that can happen. Council can pass third reading, at which time then it will go on for adoption. They can decline third reading so that it goes no further after that. Or I suppose they could ask for third reading to be suspended while we search for more information if that's what we feel, that we need. So those are the steps going forward from here with respect to a decision on this. I think that's everything I needed to say with respect to what's next. So thank you, everybody, for coming out. The regular